Okay, today I'm just going to basically show you how to set up a very simple FTP server on a Linux distro. I know FTP is kind of outdated. It's not encrypted. You're probably better off using secure FTP with SSH tunneling or something like that, something more encrypted. But FTP seems to be still regularly used, and whether you use it or not, you should understand how it works and how to set one up just in case you need to. And in future tutorials, I kind of use it in one or two cases with my custom distros, which you'll see. Anyway, I'm running a live CD here, so it's a default setup of Linux Mint 8. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to Menu, I'm going to start up the terminal, make it big, and I'll increase the font so you can see a little better. And I am going to sudo install vsftpd. So this is going to be sudo aptitude install our FTP server, which is vsftpd. There's a few other options. If you do a search for FTP servers in the repositories, you'll see that there's a handful of them. This is just the one that I first picked back when I was learning how to do it. It was the first one I saw a tutorial on and it seemed to work, so I figured why change it. Give it a few seconds. It's undownloading, it's uninstalling. It just started up. You can see it started up the service here, so we already have the FTP server running, but we still have to configure it to our likings. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to our etc file, our folder, so cd/etc, and in here we're going to nano, which is a text editor, but you can use another text editor if you like. I'm going to go into a vsftpd config file. I'm scrolling through here. If the line starts with the pound symbol or the number symbol or whatever you want to call it, depending on whatever country you're in, that means it's commented out. That means that line's not running. Now when you look here, it says anonymous enabled. I'm going to disable that because we don't want anonymous logins. Then we're going to go down a little bit further and we'll see local enabled. Yes, but it's commented out, so let's uncomment that. And what that's going to do is going to allow any user, at least by default, once we set this up, any user on this system to log into their home directory. And the phone's ringing. Mute that. Okay. We're going to go down to write enable. We're going to leave that commented for now, and I'll show you what that does later on. We'll save that file. And, oh, see, I forgot to do something. Do I want to save? No. We have to sudo. You have to be root to edit that file. Obviously, you don't want regular users setting up FTP configurations on your machine. So now that we're sudoed in, we'll change what we changed. So anonymous enable to no, and we will uncomment local enable so it's equal to yes, meaning that any user on this system can log into their home directory. So at this point, we have to sudo / etc initd and vsftpd restart. And what we're doing here is just we're shutting down and then starting up the FTP server again. So you have to do that for the configuration changes to take place. So you can either do that or just restart your system, but why restart when you don't have to? Okay, so we have your FTP server. So I'm going to log into the FTP server. I was going to do it from the same machine, but just for now, pretend that I'm logging in from another machine. I'm going to go FTP, and I'll just go localhost, but you would normally put in the IP address or domain name or URL or whatever to the server. It will ask for username. I'll say Mint. Because that's the default user on this live distro, but you would put in whatever username is on that system, and then you would type their password. I don't have a password right now on this live system, so I'll just hit enter. I'm logged in. If I hit ls, you can see, well, let me shrink down the text a little bit here to make it easier. Oh, let me. Oh, there we go. So, make it a little bit easier to read. Try to make it bigger so you can see it, but then it doesn't all fit on the screen. So, ls, you can see that we're looking at the files or folders in their home directory, but we are unable to add files. We can download files and view files, but we don't have write permissions. So let's exit out of the FTP server. I am going to once again go into that config file, so sudo nano, and inside the etc folder go into the vs-ftpd config file. We'll go down and we'll set write to enable yes. We'll uncomment that line. That just means that that user has their regular permissions to write to their home folder, and so they can upload files or create files. Save that. Once again, restart the FTP server, sudo ect initd vs ftpd. Yeah, I think I said that right. Restart. Restarts that. Now I'll go into my temp folder and I'll create a file, just say touch file. So now if I list, you can see that I have created a empty file, but a file nonetheless inside my temp folder. I am now going to once again log into my FTP server, so FTP and the IP address of the server. Type in your username, type in your password. Now once again I can list files, but I can say put, and I'll put the name of that file and its upload. Now if I list again, you'll see that that file is there. And if I exit out and I go to my home directory, I can list files and you can see that file is there. And if you're not familiar with FTP servers, I'll log back in here. And if you, I did put, so put in the name of the file to put a file. If you want to download a file, I can say get file, the name of the file, and hit enter, and it'll download that file. And at the same time, you should be able to do mput for multiple put, so you can go and put everything that's in your local directory onto the server, or you can do mget and get all the files, either with the asterisk, or if you have a bunch of images that start off image, or you can do a bunch of JPEGs, like you normally would. But mput and mget, multiple put, multiple get, and other commands, ls to list, cd to change directory, so normal stuff there. And we'll exit out. But that is how you simply set up a FTP server on a Linux machine. Very simple, not the most secure way to transfer files, but if you're looking for a quick way to do it, that's the way to do it. I still prefer using SCP for SSH copy to copy files using SSH protocol, which is encrypted. But if you need to set up a server that you want Windows users to use, they can always go and install PuTTY. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't even think FTP client comes installed on Vista or Windows 7. Well, I don't know about Windows 7, but Vista, I don't think it comes installed by default. And that's one of the many features they removed, even though the thing tripled, quadrupled in size since XP. Anyway, if you're working with a Windows user, it might be easier to use FTP because, they're Windows users, their systems are insecure anyway. So, visit filmsbychris.com for more video tutorials like this, and have a great day.